going to figure out who would vote for Trump. What kind of personality would vote for Trump, right? What kind of people are they? So let's figure it out. On January 6, 2021, a violent insurrection took place in America. This was led by lies by the president at that time, who was voted out of office in a legitimate election, and these people didn't bother fact-checking anything. And so we're going to take a look into this, right? And this insurrection wasn't just Donald Trump himself. Some of it was repeated by right-wing media. Well, they should have known better. And later, this right-wing media would actually have to pay. And even Murdoch, who owns Fox News, admitted he pushed the election fraud claims. He came out finally, and to his spiritual credit, told the truth finally, right? And a lot of this people could have fact-checked, and they didn't. They just rather believe a lie than see what's wrong with themselves, right? So it would cost Fox News almost $1 billion for their election lies, because they got sued by one of the polling computer people, right? That makes the voting machines, the dominant voting systems, right? So they tried to say that these machines were rigged, and that, it wasn't for Biden, and it turned out it wasn't true. Of course it wasn't true, right? But I know what you were thinking. Republicans are the party that claims they are Christians. They wouldn't lie, would they? Well, after all, the Bible says, keep your tongue from evil. God hates a lying tongue. Thou shalt not bear false witness. It's actually one of the 10 commandments of life, right? And Republican Party that claims to support Jesus Christ, well, they elected one of the biggest liars of all time, because Trump's false and misleading claims totaled over 30,000 when he was just in 4 years alone. Some of them were flat out lies. Some of them were just misleading, but it's all against Jesus Christ himself. So you got to think, man, if I'm a Christian, why am I voting for somebody that smears God so much? So a Republican congressman, which is funny, Republican Party in general, by the way, that voted against, holding Donald Trump accountable. One of them that said that the rioters were just tourists. Well, he was actually barricading the chamber's doors, and he was photographed doing it. It's funny because I don't remember anybody ever barricading just for a few tourists. These were people that were going to come in there, and they were going to kill them. And Donald Trump supporters, they don't know what congressman from another. They don't know what one looks like. They would have probably got their hands on anybody and just beat them to death and figured it out all later, right? These are not people that did any kind of research before the insurrection. They just all got riled up and they went. So even more lies from Republicans, that the rioters were completely unarmed. Well, unfortunately, that wasn't true. They actually beat a cop to death. They beat him with flagpoles. They beat him with pepper sprays. They had all kinds of other kinds of weapons, right? And they even built a noose, a hanging pole for Mike Pence outside the Capitol, man. They wanted him dead. Matter of fact, they even found a U-Haul truck full of weapons at a hotel they were getting ready to ship to the rioters they had out there. And luckily somebody told them, or ratted the police out, and they found it before they could do all that. Okay? The rioters were protesting a rigged election. Well, the rigged election never took place. There was no rigged election. Matter of fact, what right-wing media reported sometimes they found ballots of Donald Trump in the trash. Well, that was true. What the right-wing media didn't tell you, which is still a lie, leaving out information deliberately like that is still a lie, is they also found Biden ballots in the trash. There wasn't enough election fraud on either side to commit to this kind of rigged election that they thought that was going on. Even Trump's own people said that this election wasn't rigged. It was one of the most fair in history. And anybody with a brain could have figured that out. But Trump supporters, you know how they are. Yet even more, the rioters involved in the Capitol, they were invited by the Capitol Police. It wasn't true. They literally have videos of them trying to stop them from going in. Then I read one guy's comment in the comment section, said, well, you know, what did they get in trouble for, breaking a window? Why did they have to break a window? Common sense would dictate. If they were invited in by police, why did they have to break a window to get into the Capitol? So which lie is it? Were they invited in by police? Or was it just a window that they broke and, you know, it was just a peaceful tour? So Trump supporters, y'all need to get your lies straight. It's one way or the other. Let's keep adding these lies, all right? The jail rioters are nonviolent political prisoners. That was not true. They were extremely violent. They went in and they tore everything up. They stole the podiums. They broke down doors. They ripped up papers. They hurt police. I mean, it got pretty bad, right? And, pretty much they Buzz Lightyeared it. And January 6th was a false flag. That wasn't true either. It wasn't true. They tried blaming the FBI. It used to be that Republicans supported the police, but after January 6th, they turned their back on the police. And we're going to get into that too, right? So what other Bible verses did Trump supporters turn their back on? Well, that's actually simple. Thou shalt not kill. So we're going to get into that too. This nonviolent insurrection that happened and people got killed. So, yep, Trump supporters also murdered a guy named Brian Sicknick. After serving in the Air National Guard, which he was a veteran, they killed him. They killed him. They overpowered him by the mob and they killed him. And unfortunately, being a veteran, it makes me sad, but not all veterans have brains. And we're going to get to that too. And what makes me even more sad is that one of them was shot trying to break into the Capitol, this nonviolent Republican Party would say, to her, and she was supposed to be an Air Force veteran. She should have known better, right? And it really makes me sick. It really does, because some Capitol Police felt betrayed by their own country and they took their own life. Others, after January 6th, they fell into depression after what happened, after the stuff that they seen, and they committed suicide because of what these Trump supporters did. And what makes it even worse is that the party that's supposed to support the police, that claims they support the police, who did Donald Trump go to meet with? They met with her family, the insurrectionist family. He turned his back on the one officer that died. He didn't meet with their family, mind you. He never came out and said it's sad that all these people are committing suicide because of what happened. It wasn't really condemned by him. Who did he go meet? He met with the insurrectionist family and praised them. And he wants to call for justice for her. For what? She broke into the Capitol, and this is who you guys want to vote for? This is what you guys in Iowa said, this is the guy that we want in office. We want more police dead. We want more veterans dead. Trump is our man. It gets worse. In fact, Trump supporters turn their back on police, right? They want to defund the FBI. They allege that the FBI and DOJ have been weaponized against them, even though they don't understand that the laws in the country apply to everybody, not just when it's convenient to them. And the people running against Donald Trump even pledged that they would remove the director his first day in office just because he did his job. Now, I don't understand how Republicans can sit there and say Antifa's wrong because they want to defund the police, but they're talking about defunding the FBI too. What's the difference in parties if they're both talking about defunding it, but one of them actually kills a bunch of cops? This is insane. That's exactly what's going on with the Trump supporters. They are mentally ill at this point. You'd have to be. So, we've established Trump supporters hate the police and turn their back on Jesus. But what else is there? What about veterans? Why would they vote for Trump? So we're going to get back to the veteran thing here, because I just actually watched a YouTube channel where he was thankful that the Iowa caucuses, 50% voted for Trump. He was really happy about it. A veteran that didn't care about the other veteran that died, didn't care about the lies, didn't care about the police, didn't care about, his oath that he took, which is, you support the Constitution, do you defend the Constitution? But instead, he supported the insurrection, so he really can't call himself a veteran anymore, can he? So why does Trump hate veterans? Does Trump supporters in the armed services, right? Well, a lot of it, too, is the party that praises Putin, the Russians, current 4 Taliban leaders, and there was plenty of intel on this that was given to Donald Trump, which he blatantly ignored. Current foreign Taliban leaders say Russia really did pay bounties to kill American troops in Afghanistan. You see, that's the problem, too. Another problem is you have Republican, when they get together, do look conventions, some are literally going on stage and saying, Putin, Putin. They love Putin so much. Well, if you love Putin so much, you can't love American veterans at this point, right? And even Donald Trump, when he was asked by the media standing next to Putin, he said, I don't know why you would do something like that. Seems completely ignoramus comment that he made. So Putin is literally paying for American troops' deaths. But you as a veteran want to support him. It's like supporting your own hanging. It's like supporting your own death. If you went to Iraq and Afghanistan, you voted for him, it's like you're committing suicide mentally. There is no rationality behind this. In fact, Trump doesn't care about troops. He cares more about Putin, like I said. Trump says he didn't even raise the issues during the phone call with Putin. Didn't even ask him. Didn't even raise it. Didn't care enough. Oh, matter of fact, too many Republicans praise Putin, like I just said. And it's really sad. Republican bold-faced names such as ex-Secretary Mike Pompeo and Mr. Trump have been willing to lavish praise upon Russian dictator over the last few weeks, during this time this article was made, since the invasion ranked in GOP officials. So too many of them are praising Putin. Too many. So what's the difference between Taliban taking money for Russia and Trump? Not much. Not much, because a long-time GO operatives charged with funneling Russian national money to Trump. So some of that Putin money that he was giving Republicans funneled back to Donald Trump to help run for office. So a guy that was paying for American soldiers' deaths in Syria, Afghan, for the Taliban, was somehow money ends up in Trump's hands, and everybody's okay with that, right? You guys, Republican Party, Donald Trump supporters, you're okay with this? You guys talk about Biden and China, which is funny because, you know what? The mega hats that you guys wear, they're made in China. So why would a veteran support Trump? Trump didn't want wounded veterans to attend military parade because nobody wants to see that. So if you're a wounded veteran, you have to walk around, with a cane, or you're in a wheelchair even. You lost your legs, they've been replaced, whatever the case may be, you don't have an arm. Donald Trump didn't want you there. He didn't want you at the parade. It makes him look bad. So why would you vote for him? He doesn't even want you near him, but you're willing to vote for him as a future president again? It's insane. So the bottom line is you can only pick one. You could pick the Trump flag, which is actually made in China, which is not much different from the rebel flag, by the way, or you could pick the American flag. There's only one you can pick. There's no more going back and forth at this point. Either you love America and you love the Constitution and the rights thereof, and when you lose an election, it doesn't give you a right to get violent, and you accept that election, or you could support Trump and turn your back on America, turn your back on veterans, turn your back on police, turn your back on Jesus Christ himself. But you're only going to get one, bud. Because I'm telling you right now, if Trump comes back in office, don't expect Jesus to be there for you.